another lesson today, and this is Evelyn. She's going to help us today. She's going to take over while Tavis goes out of town for the next week, and she's going to be working with me here at my Rancho's Ranch with the livestock I have here. She presently is living at my 20-acre ranch, but we have livestock there in my sanctuary that we're also going to be working with. So Evelyn is learning how to work with my livestock and our livestock in such a way that we can teach them what we decide we want them to learn. Now here comes Beta. Is that Beta?
That's Alpha.
Yeah?
Alpha.
No, it's Alpha? Okay, where's Beta?
He's coming.
Usually they come together. Today we're going to do with Beta what we did with Alpha last lesson a couple days ago. We expect to have a little bit of issues because Beta's a little bit slower to learn. It's hard when they're so furry. Here comes Beta to tell who is who. One is a Suri, and the other is a Wakaya. Okay, here they are. You're watching Evelyn and Tavis round them up. And I am going to get out of their way. They're going to be going through this gateway here that is to the big pasture, and therefore also to the areas that we have arranged for training and tacking near the big pasture. I don't want to interfere with their route to the big pasture, so I'm trying to stand out of their way, but yet I want you to watch what they are doing. See, now Evelyn is here for the first time, and they may not do what they routinely do for Tavis because Evelyn is here. We'll see, and you'll see, because I'm the urban alpaca girl who's videoing my shows every time we train and uploading them on the Urban Alpaca Girl Show. Okay, here they come. Now, am I in their way? I don't think so. I think they'll go to that gate. Yeah, here they go. They know it. Now watch how he closes gates so they can't change their mind. But then we have to make sure we open them all after the lesson. One day Tavis forgot to open this one, and by the end of the day, the alpacas were standing here trying to get in. Okay, let me into their shed area and back pasture for the nighttime stays. Okay, now they know they're going to the tacking area. At first, believe me, about a month ago, they didn't know that. But they are fast learners, relatively speaking. And we've brought some tack in a garbage can here. We leave the tack that we're presently working with here in this tacking area at this time of the year, because we're going to be doing a lot of trail work. Remember, the Ranchos has 20 lineal miles of trails, and I have 5 gates out to those trails from my 6-acre ranch here. And all these panels are going to be moved to make a fence right here to the right of that riser going to the railroad tie. This is going to be an in-fence training area. And these panels will be replaced with other 10-foot panels or 12-foot panels. These are each 6 foot. I've had them for decades. They're rusty. We're going to paint them. We're going to make them pretty. Okay, now the boys know they're in the tacking area, and Evelyn is going to learn how to put the halter on. Once you grab their neck, they stop. Yeah. And also they know that we taught them, it was many lessons, we taught them to lay down for us. So they know that if they lay down, they're giving us one of the right answers. This is where I usually keep my horse trailer and truck, which I've used for many decades to haul livestock. Right now it's at my 20-acre ranch.
Give and take. And if you just walk, if you just start walking,
Now that's Alpha, and he did his learning tasks 2 days ago. Now watch Tavis put a halter on Beta.
you want to, we're going to work with that. You want to take it off? If you kind of just put your arm around there, just kind of holding.
I'm going to show you how we've just used a lidded garbage can here for our tack that we're presently using, which includes a goat harness. I am going to be ordering an alpaca harness from Tractor Supply this week,
On the other side.
I hope.
All right, buddy.
Is he gonna see one?
Sure. Yeah. Beta, he's a little long and skittish. Try to get away to the mouth. We want to be healthy. We do that kind of.
Beta's the one that you're putting the halter on, right? Yeah. Now, okay, you know, he doesn't know Evelyn. Maybe you should put it on him and then let Evelyn lead him, and he'll next time know her better. Here's Alpha. He's not going to be tacked up, but chances are he's going to hang out with us. But now you're going to do the goat harness too.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a little bit more challenging.
And if he tries to get away and it's like too hard to hold him, just let him go. Don't try to. He might try. I'm gonna put this other harness on.
On the 28th of April, they're going to be sheared. And I know that Jennifer really wants to be here for the shearing, and I hope you will too. Okay, he's laying down because he thinks if he lays down, he's doing the right answer. And you should watch the old Urban Alpaca Girl shows how many lessons we had to do before he understood that was the right answer.
Like their ears, they'll kind of freak out.
I'm gonna go over here, try and get a better view from my camera. Remember, the grasses are all still pretty high here.
This is like a maze. It took me so long to kind of figure out how this goes on.
Now he's thinking he has to lay down. He was trying to bend his front legs. Now watch how he's strapping the harness on, because they're very, very sensitive to feelings of straps on their bodies that they're not used to. Alpha's anticipating going out that gate. He's going to lay down. He thinks, okay, if I lay down, I'm doing right. Now remember, our big pasture's out here. My entire property is fenced in railroad ties, because from my decades of experience with horses, that's the only wood that a horse won't chew. And I have 5 gates out to the trails here that meander through the ranchos. No vehicles, motor vehicles allowed. And we're going to be going out there with walks with animals, dogs, kids, eventually maybe also cart drives with my pony cart and my alpaca harness, which I'm going to be getting. It wasn't easy to find out that it's available here. He's laying down. Okay. I'm just going to tell him he's a good boy, and this is how I'm going to tell him. Okay. Now he's going to do the leading, Evelyn, with the ground driving lines that are attached to the halter, and you're going to have the halter line on your hand, giving Beta guidance.
So we'll just walk him around back here. And just walk around.
And don't underestimate, if he does get spooked, he can pull.
I'm going to have some ropes on him too. It's too much, or he's like running. I'm going to get a rope on him.
Now he's getting the ground driving lines on. You understand ground driving lines as the beginning step of rein control. And they do touch the hips and occasionally the legs, and that makes the alpacas nervous.
So if you go behind it, while you're directing where to go, I'm going to go left or right. Here you go. He's going to want to go left or right.
Oh, Jennifer's here mowing. Jennifer is Evelyn's mother.
Top bar. Just gonna slide that horseshoe.
You're just opening the gate, not the panel.
Oh my god.
Slides that.
Now, we're gonna be watching how he behaves when he feels those ground driving lines on his hips and on his legs. There's some rain coming in this week, then another week of no rain, but at the end of that next week, there's one more day of rain predicted. But this is middle of April, and we're expecting spring weather, which can have random days of rain. We're expecting spring weather to be consistent, and by summer, we hope to be able to ground drive at least up the alpaca, the rancho's trails outside of this ranch that I own here in the ranchos. Beyond those railroad ties is a trail, and the HOA has not been mowing it, so it's high grasses. I'm gonna walk over here carefully into the shade. You see how Beta's pulling away from that right ground driving line on his hip. You see how he's ducking his head? That's showing concern. He's nervous. And I sure don't want to be in the way if he decides to run forward, so I'm going to move back over here. Good boy. Click. Yeah, short grasses, high grasses, whatever. Livestock, he's got to be able to walk through them. He's looking around. He says, where am I? Alpha's messing around over there, but he's got his eyeballs on his buddy Beta. Okay, and they love to go into water tubs. We're going to bring a wading tub, and right there where Evelyn is, that's where we'll place it. Now see, if they freak out, they don't mean to hurt you, but their nature as a prey animal is get out of the way, get out of here if I'm freaking out. You see how he's ducking his head again? Do you want Evelyn to do anything with the lead line to keep him so that he's not swinging around? You see, if he's in a cart, he can't be swinging around like that. He's got shafts on the side of his body, and we actually have shaft simulators that we used months ago. We're going to use them again, made out of PVC. Okay, and I'm gonna again walk out of the way here in case he spooks. With repetition, Evelyn, they'll be good. But we haven't done this kind of ground driving out here hardly at all. I did recently buy a gasoline push mower. We do have a tractor with a flail mower, and this is the time of year that you have to get help because the grasses grow much higher and much faster than ever before. Okay, and he goes into his water tub. Okay. Good. Okay. That's a water tub rather than a wading tub. My wading tub has shorter edges, so it'll be easier to step in and step out. Remember, this gate is usually open, but for now, because we're using this as a training area, we closed it. Yeah, you see how is there any way you can keep his hip from veering off like that by staying behind him? Oh, he says, if I lay down, they're always happy. Okay. They're not rocket scientists, but they are very, very sweet. And when you want him to go somewhere, rather than pulling him, you give and take, give and take. That's called bumping. You bump them. We should have an arm extension with us. Next time we'll bring it. Like a crop. A long piece of 1/4 inch or 1/2 inch PVC. I apologize for my camera work. I'm not a camera person, but we don't have another person to do that for us right now. So I'm doing my best to keep the image instructional and to not shake. I am 81 years old, so my hands kind of shake. See, he's looking out beyond the railroad ties. They come out here and graze all the time, but they're not tethered up like they are right now. So it's another situation. Being a prey animal, he knows he's got a halter on. He knows he's got the goat harness on. He knows he's got a lead line on the halter and ground driving lines on the goat harness. So walking by the railroad ties that they know are their perimeter fence, he's kind of nervous. You see, this is not the kind of behavior that is conducive to taking a trail walk. We've got a lot of training to do this spring before we can maybe trail walk this summer. And there's Brownie, one of my 2 goats. They usually come to watch the lessons. Goats can pull carts too if it's small enough. Oh, there's Blackie. He's beyond the tree there. They usually come together. See, now that's bad behavior. What Beta's doing, I expected that. Try to stay behind him with the ground driving lines. Yeah, and they do kick out, but it's not anything like a horse kick, but be aware. He is not the least bit relaxed. We're going to do this over and over and over again until he's relaxed and says, oh, okay, I know what you want me to do. And if you'll watch the video from Monday, you'll see that Alpha did much better, even though we didn't have a 3rd person here. Because Alpha is usually good at these things sooner than Beta is. We could actually put the ground driving lines next time on the halter and run them through a ring down at the harness. We'll have more control that way. You see how he's sidestepping? I have to make sure he doesn't sidestep over me. Give and take, Evelyn. If you just let him pull you like that, he'll win, and he won't learn. Well, Alpha got a B after his lesson on Monday. Beta's getting a C. I've told you I believe very much in grading. I've been a math tutor since 1983. It's a good way to get an idea how a person is doing in what they're learning and how an animal is doing in what they're learning. You see, he's very nervous. You'll see that he's going to get better as he understands the routine. It took us a long time to even be able to take a halter off of Beta without him being nervous. I don't know if he's actually itching or just nervous what he's doing. And there is Alpha trying to step through my finish line fence cable. I think that they're kind of itchy. I'm looking forward to the shearing. But the timing is good because we still have a couple rainstorms, and my shearer is scheduled to come out on the 28th in the morning. So, Beta got a C. Alpha on Monday got a B. Keep watching the Urban Alpaca Girl show. Eventually, I am hopeful we will be saying both boys got an A in their training for ground driving. He's trying, you know, he's very nervous, but he's trying to do what you're asking him. Yeah.
You take that with the longer sharp in the right hand and just pull it, and he'll kind of get out of it and just let it go. There you go.
Good boy. See, he wants to come out this gate. So I'm going to move to the side, and you guys let him out when you feel it's appropriate. Alpha's busy chewing on some leaves, on some branches. And now remember, we have to put all the gates back to the way they usually are. Yeah, now he knows it's open. He'll go to his buddy. But you see that gate behind you? Has to be open too, because during the day they're allowed into the big pasture, generally speaking. And Tavis is going to go and open the other panels on the other side of the well tank, because they're used to be able to go out that way if they feel like it. Here, on a rainy day, this path is very muddy and slippery. And I avoid it, and so do the alpaca boys. If you want to ask any questions or make any comments, please do so on YouTube for my Urban Alpaca Girl shows, or email me directly, sonyasokolow@gmail.com, SONYASOKOLOW @gmail.com. And that's all for today.